Joseph Victor von Scheffel was a German poet and novelist. Biography. He was born at Karlsruhe. His father, a retired major in the Baden Army, was a civil engineer and member of the Commission for Regulating the Course of the Rhine. His mother, Neaqt Josephine Krederer, the daughter of a prosperous tradesman at Obendorf am Neckar, was a woman of great intellectual powers and of a romantic disposition. Young Scheffel was educated at the Lyceum at Karlsruhe and afterwards at the universities of Munich, Heidelberg and Berlin. After passing the state examination for admission to the judicial service, he graduated Dr. Juris and for 4 years held an official position at the town of Sackingen. Here he wrote his poem Der Trompeter von Sackingen, a romantic and humorous tale which immediately gained extraordinary popularity. It has reached more than 250 editions and was made into an opera by Victor Nessler in 1884. Scheffel next undertook a journey to Italy. Returning home in 1853, he found his parents more than ever anxious that he should continue his legal career. But in 1854, defective eyesight incapacitated him. He quit the government service and took up his residence at Heidelberg, with the intention of preparing himself for a post on the teaching staff of the university. His studies were, however, interrupted by eye disease, and in search of health he proceeded to Switzerland and took up his abode on the Lake of Constance, and elaborated the plan of his famous historical romance Eckhard. The first ideas for this work he got from the Monumenta Germaniae Historica. It was hardly less popular than the Trompeter von Sackingen. In 1901 it reached the 179th edition. Scheffel next returned to Heidelberg, and published Gaudeamus, Lieder aus dem Engeren und Weiteren, a collection of joyous and humorous songs, the subject matter of which is taken partly from German legends and partly from historical subjects. In these songs the author shows himself the light-hearted student, a friend of wine and song, and the successes unexampled in German literature and encourage numerous imitators. One example is Im Schwarz und Walfisch zu Ascalon. The lyrics reflect an endorsement of the bacchanalian mayhem of student life. The song describes a old Assyrian drinking binge with some references to the classics. A large invoice is being provided in cuneiform on 6 brick stones. However, the carouser has to admit that he left his money already in Nineveh's Lamin and gets kicked out. In typical manner of Scheffel, it contains an anachronistic mixture of various times and eras, parodistic notions on current science, as e.g. historical criticism. There are various additional verses, including political parody and verses mocking different sorts of fraternities, or even one just and only one for mathematics. The song has been used as name for traditional students in e.g. in Heidelberg. Scheffel, however, had some melancholic notions as well, as for the unsuccessful German Revolution of 1848 and his personal disappointment in vowing for the love of his life, Emma Heim. 1851 had him disappointed as well. He also used natural science to mock the political environment, as he mocked Hegel with his guano poem or referred to the course of time in his Ichthyosaurus poem. Indirectly, Scheffel coined the expression Biedermeier for the pre-1848 age, as 2 of Scheffel poems, Beatmans of Benjaminlichkeit and Baumelmeyer's Klage, based on the poetry of teacher and poet Samuel Friedrich Sauter, published 1848, were used in later satires about the reactionary petty bourgeois. For 2 years Scheffel was custodian of the library of Prince Egon von Fürstenberg Nuremberg at Donaueschingen, but giving up his appointment in 1850, visited Joseph von Lasberg at Meersburg on the Lake of Constance, stayed for a while with the Grand Duke Charles Alexander of Saxe-Weimar at the Wartburg in Thuringia, then, settling at Karlsruhe, he married in 1864 Caroline von Malsen, and, in 1872, retired to his Villa Seeholder near Radolfzell on the lower Lake of Constance. On the occasion of his jubilee, which was celebrated all over Germany, he was granted a patent of hereditary nobility by the Grand Duke of Baden. He died at Karlsruhe on the 9th of April 1886. Heritage. 1891 Joseph Stockel founded the Scheffelbund in Schwetzingen, the largest literary society in Germany with about 7,000 members. The Scheffel Prize is dedicated to excellent pupils. There are various Scheffel memorials, street and place names. The Scheffel archive is partially at the Scheffelbund and partially in Badischen Landesbibliothek. Works. His works, other than those already mentioned, are Frau Ventura, Lieder aus Heinrich von Ofterdingens Zeit, Juniprus, Geschichte eines Kreuzfahrers, Bergsamen, Walden Samkeit, Der Heine von Steyr, Hugedeo einer alte Geschichte. Volumes of Riesbilder, Epistine, and Brief were published posthumously. Scheffel's Gesammelte Werke have been published in 6 volumes. Editions in English. Eckhard, A Tale of the 10th Century. Translated from the German by Sophie Delfs. In German Authors. Collection of German Authors. Volume 21, 22, 1867. Charles Godfrey Leland, Gaudeamus. Humorous Poems by Joseph Victor von Scheffel, e-book number 35848 on Gutenberg.org.